Dear Journal, I'm just a handful of caches away from 1,000 finds. I feel like I should wax poetic, something about how the way I was supposed to go was not always where the arrow pointed, something like that, deep. But for some reason, I still feel like a novice, blindly stumbling about like a newborn with a GPS taped to its face. Speaking of newborns, Journal, how do you make babies? Maybe Brood X can help me. Yes, that is the sound of billions of cicadas that have emerged from the ground, and boy are they horny. What you're hearing is the sound of sexy insect boys looking for sexy insect girls, in the range of 80 to 90 decibels. That's loud enough to mask the sound of running water. Oh, I'm sorry. Skimbosh, isn't this supposed to be about the road to 1,000 caches, an accomplishment vaguely acknowledged among serious cachers? Yes, and while in the bedroom of the amorous little guys, I did manage to pick up a cache, a puzzle cache no less, with no trouble, well, with a little trouble.
Fuck you for putting it all away.
But I need to ask, Journal, do you understand that this is the road? This journal has always been about the journey, and that journey happens to have insects whose evolutionary protocol is to come out all at once, so that even if all the predators came out all at the same time and ate all they could, there would still be millions of insects fucking. It's absolutely biblical, though, and I can see why people of yore would think it's an omen of the gods. Speaking of biblical, I found a cache that was named after a biblical verse.
Ow, ow, God. Oh. Note to self. Look up what this Bible, Note to self, look up what this Bible verse is. Then shall the trees of the forest sing for joy before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. Oh. I was alright with the first part. I judge your cache to be poorly maintained. Zammo!
How about a good old-fashioned Gadget cache? A combination lock with letters instead of numbers, the front plastered with the alphabet, a secondary chamber with a magnetic miniature ammo can? My apologies to the cache owner, for I have stripped the atmosphere from this cache, having to acquire the keyword through magnetic spirits and arranging letters with the help of an online anagram solver. Well, it really made me feel like I was living out an old-school Call of Cthulhu RPG, making this cache an instant favorite, as many of the CO's caches are, and a recipient of one of my famous autographed memorabilia swag drop-off. I have here a signed, unopened copy of Time Bandits, signed by Sir Sean Connery himself. Actually, when he gave it to me, you'll notice that he blotted out a lot of the letters there. He went, there, now it says tits. To whatever I was saying, Journal. As you know, I record a lot, and in these past 1,000 caches, well, most of it is not notable or entertaining to me to warrant keeping it, and sometimes I wonder, will I be the one to record the last known footage of me? See how I left that pause there? Made you reflect on stuff, possibly how some people just wander off, and, well, would anyone notice if you went missing? How long would it take for someone to sound the alarm if you were injured and had no cell phone or whistle, I know my family and friends would probably let more time than normal go by. He's geocaching, he's probably fine, they would say, as whatever horrible fate I suffer continues unabated. Hey, does everybody remember Big League Chew? Probably just an American thing. Shredded bubblegum made by a baseball player who is amused by children emulating the players in their chewing tobacco. I mention it because here's a cache that I would never have found if it had a different name. Its name, it was Big League Chew.
Yeah, right? By the old ball field. I think I see something behind it, but I'm not sure enough that I just want to stick my finger in there.
Strangely though, just because it was attached to the tube, I assumed it was a prop and touched it with my bare hands, a mistake I soon realized.
Hand sanitizer,
I thought I would have been out on the water more in the first 10th of my quest, I can credit geocaching for getting me to learn about Watercraft and the fact that the handful of times I went out I didn't have any permits or stickers. I mean, do you have to register a boat without an engine? I don't know, I just took it out. I do know that I don't like just any old water. I don't like being out on big open lakes or oceans. I like a little bit of mystery with the meandering waterways and creeks with non-aquatic animals around to keep me from thinking about water snakes and other things that I can't see floating around me.
Caw-caw! Caw-caw!
No, alright, I'm not good at this. Yeah, I'm no Sean William Scott.
Wait.
But what I lack in ornithology I can make up for with technological know-how. If you watch the video about what's in my bag, you're probably aware that my trusty Colorado 300 vomited up its rock and roller interface device, but I was able to successfully hot glue it back in with an 85% return of functionability, and it hasn't even come out after 2 heat waves. It still rocks and rolls, just not as good, like the Rolling Stones. I tend to calibrate the Colorado 300 a lot to keep it sharp, a procedure that I must do out in the open because Garmin wants me to look foolish in public.
Checking out the satellite connection with the GPS. Thought I'd do a little calibration, which I don't know how it is with other GPS units, but the Colorado 300, you gotta spin around, calibrate it, spin on level, hold it level, and spin it around. Yeah, so I'm out there like a chump, spinning around. I'm an idiot because I can just be like, yeah. So yeah, I just thought I'd share with you my foolishness for cheap laughs. Laugh at the silly man. Alright, stop laughing.
This entry hasn't been very cohesive, let's be fair. The road to 1,000 is going to be all bits and pieces. It's really just been all over the place. But isn't that a part of what geocaching is about? Oh, Skimbosh, you clever devil. But I don't have a good ending. Thankfully, one has been provided. I just can't remember where I got the image from. I call it the Ballad of Bigmada. January 15th. I will return on a warmer day. May 31st. Couldn't find it. July 7th. Well, I guess third time isn't a charm. Sad face. September 15th. Stopped by last night. DNF. September 29th. Nope. September 30th. After 10 months of looking, I asked for help from a previous finder who gave me the hint I needed. All this time, I was looking in the wrong area. There is a life lesson in there somewhere about not giving up or asking for help or something I should tie into the road to 1,000 caches, but instead, I'd rather drink, so I end with a salute to you, Bigmada, wherever you are, for I admire your tenacity.